Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we'll take a look at the top 20 Pokemon to build for season 25 of the GO Battle League for the Great League. Today we're going to take a look at 20 Pokemon that I would really recommend you for several different reasons to build for this upcoming season. I'm fully aware that the upcoming season is not going to be the most competitive season ever, but those are the Pokemon that I would definitely, if I was you, recommend you to build. They're going to be strong. Some of them are buffed, some of them got new moves, some of them weren't buffed but are going to be better against the new meta. And so today we're going to take a look at 20 Pokemon I would recommend you to at least get for the upcoming season, and let's start right into it. Of course, if you want to support the channel, best way to do this is subscribe to the channel and we can move on to the first Pokemon of 20. I don't want to make it too long as well today, but I'll talk a little bit about every Pokemon here. First up, Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff is going to be especially good against like the ghost type Pokemon. As you can see as well, for example, Keywin is going to be Sableye, a Pokemon that got buffed with Foul Play being stronger. Jellicent got buffed as well with Shadow Ball being stronger. It's going to be quite a bit better this season just because there are a lot of ghost and dark type Pokemon around, where this Pokemon itself is going to be the best answer towards it. And as you can see as well, this Pokemon looks amazing against the current and upcoming meta with that as well. It's definitely a Pokemon I would recommend you to build. It's going to be something that you most already have built already, but it's going to be even stronger this season compared to the last season. And that is quite difficult to even achieve because it was already very strong last season. So yeah, this is a Pokemon you absolutely want. And especially now with a lot of ghost types around, a lot of dark types around, this Pokemon is going to be amazing. Next up, not too surprising, we're going to have Sealeo. Sealeo is a Pokemon that got buffed this season with Power Punch, I want to say, with Powder Snow, of course, being better, doing more damage now. Is going to be actually a very, very solid Pokemon. It's going to allow you to, win most a lot of matchups with it as well. Good as a Sacer, good as a lead ghost, good as a closer. Can basically play every single role. Has a lot of potential, very fast pacing, very good typing there. Like it's just a good Pokemon. It's just a good Pokemon. Alternatives are Walrein and Dewgong. I didn't want to put them in here because they're kind of the same. And so we can move on to the next one here, which is going to be Bastiodon. Bastiodon is a Pokemon that if you haven't built yet, it's absolutely worth it currently. It has a lot of play against the upcoming meta. We saw already the Wigglytuff on the list here as well, which is one of the hardest answers to it, is going to be the Bastiodon. But in an Ice-type meta, this Pokemon is just going to benefit quite a bit from the recent meta change as well. It's going to be quite strong. Bastiodon is always kind of a Pokemon that you have to deal with, and it's definitely a Pokemon that's going to not go away next season. It's most likely even a little bit stronger compared to last season. But the next one is going to be Lickitung, or like Lickilicky in this case. The Lickilicky got buffed with the move Shadow Ball. It's going to be faster with that, and again, it's going to be a normal type that can beat ghost type Pokemon quite easily. It's going to have wins against Doublade, which is going to be maybe also on the list here today. We have Jellicent here, which is going to be one of the biggest wins against it as well, but you're going to have very much neutral play with this Pokemon against everything, which you see as well with the key losses. All of those Pokemon are very close to the 500 mark. Basically, 500 means that you are drawing the matchup, and as they're all very close to that ranking here on the right side, it shows that there's basically no hard counter, and in certain scenarios, you would even have the option to win against Corviknight, Azumarill, Gaston, Credilly, and Wigglytuff as well, if you have a little bit of energy lead, for example, or a shield advantage, which makes it very, very tough to deal with Lickilicky, and it's a very good save-up, especially in the meta, or even as a lead you can use it as well. And again, with the rollout, you're going to do some super effective damage against Ice-type Pokemon. Sableye is going to be next. This is going to be, Pokemon we talked about earlier already. It's going to benefit quite a bit from all the ghost types. It's going to also benefit from the ice types, as you have Power Gem as a coverage move. And additional towards this as well, Foul Play is going to get a damage increase from 60 to 65 damage, which allows this Pokemon to hit a little bit harder, which is great. Of course, Wigglytuff, as you see as well, the battle ranking against Wigglytuff is horrible because this Pokemon has 0 play against Wigglytuff. But against anything else, this Pokemon is honestly very, very strong. Even has play against Azumarill, and with that, I do think that the Sableye is going to be one of those Pokemon that you very likely will see quite often in the upcoming season. Where we will have a Doublade next. This thing, again, as said before already, is a very cool Pokemon. It got buffed with both Shadow Claw as well as Sacred Sword, giving it options to hit Pokemon like Bastiodon, like Credilly, like the Scizor quite fast. Has an amazing typing in Steel and Ghost, only having like a few weaknesses like Ground, Fire, Dark, I think that's basically it, and Ghost as well, I guess. But you have a lot of resistances with it. You have a resistance to fighting, you have a resistance to normal, you have actually, I think, you triple resist normal type moves, which is kind of crazy. You don't get any damage from it. There are a lot of resistance to it, resisting flying. But yeah, this is going to be a very good Pokemon, generally speaking, and it's going to have great coverage thanks to Sacred Sword. You're also going to be able to hit normal and Dark type Pokemon that could be problematic for Doublade otherwise. So it's a very nice Pokemon now with Shadow Claw and Sacred Sword. Forretress, a Pokemon that didn't get buffed at all, but a Pokemon that's going to be very good against the current meta, as it's going to have a great typing. It's very neutral, just very similar compared to what we just talked about, the Lickilicky. As you see as well on the right side, most of the matchups are quite, yeah, alright there. The issue, of course, with this Pokemon is it only has one weakness, which is going to be the weakness against Fire-type Pokemon, which is a double weakness. If you face one of them, it's game over for you, but anything else you're going to be able to deal with. And while Malamar didn't make it onto this list here today, it was definitely a contender there as well. Malamar is going to be like such a good matchup for Forretress. Malamar is going to exist. I found just Malamar a little bit too close to Sableye, but for the people who actually watch the entire video, Malamar is a good Pokemon as well. Definitely build one if you can. But as you're gonna see as well, the win rate is crazy, like 31 wins, 20 losses. It's a very good average rating. Like Forretress is going to be amazing to run for the next season. As we can enter Clefable here. This Pokemon has two different movesets, has either Fairy Wind, Meteor Mash, and Moonblast, or Fairy Wind, Meteor Mash, and Swift. Swift is recommended, but I actually do like Moonblast quite a bit. Moonblast is on the right side here if you take a look at the rankings there, where you're going to be able to win with Moonblast against the Stunfisk as well as the Corsola. You're going to lose against the normal Marowak, but you never face a normal Marowak, you always face the Shadow version, so that matchup is different anyway. I would personally recommend you to go for Moonblast over the Swift, but that's up to you. If you want to have a rather bait move, then Swift is going to be better. But Meteor Mash is going to allow you to even hit Pokemon like Wigglytuff for super effective damage. You're going to be stronger this season as well, because the energy requirement for Meteor Mash got reduced. And so this is actually a really, really good Pokemon now again. And also quite safe, like they're not really the biggest answers towards it. Of course, Steel types you cannot hit, and Fire types you cannot hit with this Pokemon. But even against those, a lot of times you can still do a lot of damage, because you have just such strong moves on this Pokemon that it doesn't sometimes even matter if it's resisted or not. Blastoise, a Pokemon that's going to be absolutely fantastic in the new meta, because you're going to be able to have the fast move that's going to be very good against Ice-type Pokemon with a Rollout. You have Skullbush, which is a perfect coverage move. I would not recommend you to go for Ice Beam anymore in this meta. Skullbush is clearly the best move here, going to allow you to hit those Sealeos for neutral damage, hits the Azumarill for neutral damage, boost your own defense at the same time, and just is the better coverage move here. But generally speaking, Blastoise is going to have a lot of neutral play in this meta. If you have a bit of an energy lead with this Pokemon, it can destroy nearly everything in the current meta here, which is kind of wild. And there's next to no Pokemon that's really scary. Credilli is a little bit scary, but I feel like Credilli is going to be a bit nerfed this season because of the Pokemon that kind of got buffed. There are a lot of answers to Credilli now around, like Doublade as well, and some other Pokemon that are going to be still on this list here today. But Blastoise is absolutely a Pokemon that you want to build. Ludicolo's next. Two boss, so Astonish as well as Weather Ball, Water, making this Pokemon now absolutely fantastic. The hardest answer to Azumarill apparently with a battle ranking of 929. That's actually ridiculous. But basically what you see here as well, this Pokemon is going to be fantastic. It's going to be a great Pokemon in any kind of position. Having access to Astonish now gives it also the option to counter other Ghost and Psychic type Pokemon, which is fantastic for the meta. It didn't need the Astonish, absolutely not. But they buffed it twice. Weather Ball was all it really needed to be meta, but now it's actually top meta, which is kind of cool, giving it also more neutral play against Pokemon like Sealeo, where Astonish is doing some neutral damage. But generally against those, you mainly want to hit a Leaf Storm in order to one-shot them anyway, which gives you a big nuke move. This Pokemon is going to be amazing. I think the ranking is a little bit too low for it currently on PvPoke. I think it's going to be higher up later on in the season, because I think this Pokemon has a lot of impact. I think it's one of the strongest Pokemon that got added this season. Jellicent was already strong previously, but now is going to be even stronger. Having Shadow Ball being cheaper now, making it easier for you to reach it. 4 hacks is all it takes to get to a Shadow Ball, and this is going to be such a big difference compared to 5 hacks, because 3 turns already are going to make a big difference in the Go Battle League. And yeah, we're going to see, of course, some of the Dark-type Pokemon going to be a bit of a problem for you. But generally speaking, this Pokemon is going to be fantastic here now. Going to be one of the biggest meta Pokemon there for sure. Going to allow you, for example, to also have great calls with other Steel-type Pokemon, because you have a Water type and a Ghost typing together. And both of those are going to be able to help out Steel types, with Fire-type Pokemon getting destroyed from it, and then also the Fighting-type Pokemon getting destroyed from it as well. So Jellicent has a lot of synergy with a lot of Pokemon as well, which is going to be great. And so this is going to be a fantastic Pokemon to run for the upcoming season. As Primeape makes the cut as a Pokemon that doesn't really have a boost, but it makes more sense over Annihilate now, because it doesn't have the Ghost typing, but it has Ghost type coverage. There are a lot of Ghost type Pokemon, And for Annihilate, of course, you're going to have the weakness of Astonish, of Hex, of all of the ghost types that you're going to have there, Shadow Claw coming up against you. But you don't really have the issue with a Primeape where this takes neutral damage. But you still have Rage Fist, which is going to do super effective damage against Doublade, against other Annihilates, other Jellicents, all of this kind of good stuff without having the drawback of having that extra ghost typing on top of yourself. So Primeape is going to be, in my opinion, a little bit better than Annihilate for the upcoming season, just because it is a bit better defensively, it has better pacing, and then has the nuke move as well of close combat, which can definitely win you some battles. And if you see as well, the battle ranking, the win-loss ratio, everything is really, really strong for this Pokemon. So definitely make sure to give this one a try. You need 2 Elite items for both Karate Chop as well as Rage Fist though. As another fighter, Blaziken is going to be here. It's mainly for fun. It's a cool Pokemon though that has potential in the right hands. It needs the correct team in order to really function well. I could see it better as a closer or directly as lead, both of which would make sense for this Pokemon. Seizup could work out as well, but there's certain Pokemon that are just completely hardwalling you. Like Jellicent, like Azumarill, you have to be aware of that. You have offensive answers as well against you with Marowak and Gastrodon, which makes Blaziken a very tough Seizup to be used. I do think it's better as a closer or as a lead, both of which are going to allow you to have either shields or then later hopefully an energy advantage in order to utilize these super hard-hitting charge moves of Aura Sphere as well as Blast Burn, which makes Blaziken one of the most interesting Pokemon for the upcoming meta. It is going to be another fire type entering the meta, but it's very likely not going to be the most strongest ever, just because of how the bulk is of this Pokemon that's not really existing, but I do think it has a lot of potential in the right hands. That's why it's on the list here. As you see as well, the win record is quite nice, and so I do think that Blaziken has some play. You just need to play it right, and that is going to be something that we have to figure out, and I'm curious. I can't wait actually for the new season. I'm really excited just to try out some random Pokemon basically, without having to worry about Elo, and it's going to be a lot of fun, so definitely stay tuned for that. Gourgeist is going to be next, a Pokemon not in the top 100, so I haven't really talked that much about it for the Open Great League, but it got access to Incinerate, which is going to be a great fast move forward, which makes it super unique, because now you have a Ghost and Grass type that can beat other Grass types, and also Bug type Pokemon, and Steel type Pokemon, and it has a lot of just potential. Shadow Ball got buffed as well at the same time, which allows this Pokemon to get to this one after just 3 Incinerates, but also after 5 Incinerates, you're going to get to 2 Shadow Balls straight back to back, which is really cool. You still have Seed Bomb as coverage. I think it's the best move forward. I saw in the Ultra League sometimes you would even want to run the move of Foul Play, I think. No, actually, I don't know if this even runs Foul Play. I think I'm thinking about Tremblant right now. Don't mind me. But Seed Bomb, Incinerate, and Shadow Ball make a lot of sense together. I think it's a cool Pokemon to run. I think Incinerate is very, very fun on this Pokemon. And so I would recommend you to definitely give this a try and build this Pokemon. You need, by the way, the large one. I saw comments towards it in the last video I talked about, I think for the Ultra League or whatever. Yeah, you need the XXL version of it. XXL is the stats for Gourgeist change depending on the size of it. So the super size, actually I think I have the large one on the left side, which is wrong. I think super is different than large, so that's my mistake. I think super is in the top 80. I couldn't find it, I don't know why. But yeah, Gourgeist is actually even better than you see on the left side. On the right side, everything is fine. You need the super form. This is already a mistake here, but I guess good to show there's a difference with large and super. Yeah. I think large is XL and the super is XXL. There's a difference in terms of the stats that you have. I think the XXL one has better bulk, which kind of makes it more desirable for the Go Battle League. And that is kind of interesting, and also good Pokemon for the Ultra League, by the way. Speaking of Ultra League, do you want to see a video like this as well for the Ultra League? Then let me know down below, leave a like on this video as well. And we have here the Talonflame against us. This Pokemon is going to be quite solid. It's a Pokemon that is going to be rank 85, and we have here as well the Fly and Brave Bird moves with it. It's a Pokemon that didn't get buffed, but I still kind of wanted to include here. You can go for Charizard as well, but I like the bulk of Talonflame a little bit more. The thing is here, there are a lot of Ice-type Pokemon, and a lot of Ice-type Pokemon are going to not appreciate Talonflame, but also a lot of Steel-type Pokemon got buffed. It's a great answer against Doublade, and I would actually say that the Shadow Talonflame might be even more interesting in the current meta with Incinerate and Flame Charge, because this will allow you to even have more play against Pokemon like the Aegislash, which is also a very interesting Pokemon to take a look at for the upcoming meta. But before that, we're going to take a look at Mandibuzz, a Pokemon that also is going to be able to very likely be able to kind of counter the Aegislash if it's going to be a common Pokemon, but also has just so much more play nowadays, again, with Air Slash, Foul Play, and Shadow Ball. With both Foul Plays as well as Shadow Ball being buffed, this Pokemon is kind of back in the meta. It's absolutely going to be back in the meta. Very strong Bastiodon and Wigglytuff, which you saw already in the beginning, as well as, yeah, Azumarill are going to be very good answers towards this Pokemon. And so, yeah, as you can see here, it's going to be back. It's going to be a very strong pick here as well. And I do actually think that Mandibuzz might be healthy for the meta for one part, because the ground-type Pokemon kind of have no play against it, but the Ice-type Pokemon do, and so like there are answers in the meta currently for Mandibuzz. It's not going to be broken by any means, but it's going to be a very strong Pokemon, which I think is quite healthy for the meta right now. As we will see here next, we're going to have the Ferret. Ferret is going to be a very good Pokemon as well. Having access to Swift, Trail-based Sucker Punch, going to be a great moveset to have here, and generally is going to have, again, a lot of potential against the Ghost types, has coverage against the Water-type Pokemon, has a lot of play here. Swift, Trail-based, and Sucker Punch, just a very good combination right now. Good answer, especially to Jellicent, which is very important for the meta, I think. As well as you're going to be good up against the Sableye as well, like all the Ghost-type Pokemon, you're going to be able to counter with Ferret, which makes it a very good Pokemon to have. Aegislash, a Pokemon that I really want to talk about as well. This thing is apparently really, really good now. Like number 12 on PvPoke there is kind of crazy. Like this Pokemon is getting an average rating here to 445, but wins 29 and loses 22. If you take a look at the Zero Shield scenario for this Pokemon, it's absolutely broken. And so I do actually think that this Pokemon is going to be especially good in the Zero Shields there, because you're going to be able to just kind of force a shield. You don't have to shield, and then you can swap out afterwards again, if you just want to change your form. And now with 2 moves at 50 energy, you actually can always store up 2 nice charge moves at the same time, keeping your defenses up, and then just try to utilize the energy that you generate with this Pokemon. I do think that this might be the season of Aegislash. But it's not going to be only the season of Aegislash, it's also going to be the season of Azumarill. This Pokemon is going to go nowhere. It is going to be even better next season, because again, we have Pokemon like Malamar that's got buffed, Sableye that got buffed. It's just generally going to be a very nice neutral Pokemon, and answers like the Dedenne are kind of gone, which also even give a Credilli a Pokemon again that you would like to, yeah, also counter the Azumarill, but also counter the Dedenne, but the Dedenne is gone now, so maybe even less insensitive for the Credilli to be run here. Azumarill is going to be still everywhere. This Pokemon is absolutely worth building. Generally, it has been good in every single season of the GO Battle League. There hasn't been a season where Azumarill kind of fell off, and that is kind of ridiculous. It's the GOAT of PvP, basically. It's the GOAT of the GO Battle League. It's kind of hilarious. It's an Azumarill, but yeah, it's just so strong. And that's going to be the final Pokemon for today. Pangoro is the hidden pick that I would really recommend you to run. Look at the average rating in the one-shot scenario. That's all that I have to really say about it. All the Pokemon that kind of are good for the Pangoro to deal with got buffed this season. A lot of Ghost, a lot of Fighting, a lot of Ghost, a lot of Dark, and a lot of Steel-type Pokemon, as well as Ice-type Pokemon, all going to be weak to Night Slash plus Close Combat combination. And with it, Pangoro is going to be such a meta threat in the current meta. I do think that this Pokemon is most likely going to win certain regionals as well. I do think we're going to see it in the play Pokemon format. But Pangoro is going to be something that's going to be, yeah, very interesting to see. I do think you have to kind of take a look at this Pokemon for sure. And this is going to be it for today's video. Again, if you want to see another video like this for the Ultra League, leave a like on the video. And I will see you then. Bye-bye.